Hello, this is the fourth video in our series of paragraphs, and in this one we're going to talk about transitions. And the transitions pages that you need to print off, they're very self-explanatory. I'm not going to take your time by reading through them with you because I know that at this point you're probably clearly recognizing how all of these pieces kind of come together. I just want to point out a few things to show you what to point out to your child. Okay, so when we get to this first page, what I'd like you to do is just grab a yellow colored pencil, and as you're reading through this, choose what will be effective and helpful for you to use with your child, depending on their age and the amount of information that they need to understand this. You might only use one of these pages. You might only use, for example, maybe this page, the fourth page, or maybe the fifth page, these sets of transitions. But I included all of these because I wanted you to have as many of the resources available should you choose to review it and should you choose to use it. None of it's bad, it's all good. Some of it restates what's already been said on the other pages, but that's okay. And that would only be because I'm pulling from multiple versions and multiple grade levels. Okay, but the most important thing that I want you to tie in here for your child is to go back to where we talked about the outlines and how the key star ideas, they are going to be much more effective and easier for your reader to understand if we embed a transition into each one. That lets the reader know that it's a signal, right? And it lets the reader know that we have a new one coming up, a new reason, detail, or fact, which are the key star ideas. It gives us a clue. So transitions are clues. And it's really, really helpful if you go through a paragraph with a child and you have a yellow pencil in your hand and you go, ooh, there's a clue word, that's a transition, and you just kind of highlight it like that and help them pick those out as you're reading. They quite often, they can come in like sets, and it just makes sense to have them go in a set together. And so some of these pages cover that. It is important to note that at the bottom of this page, there's a distinction between transitions in narrative writing versus transitions in informative or explanatory or opinion writing. So we haven't talked about narrative writing yet. We are going to, I will be doing a parent workshop Zoom, one of Katrina's training workshops, talking about narrative writing. And so I'll talk about narrative transitions at that point. They're definitely going to be different because they're they're indicating time or place, and they're helping the reader follow the story and the storyline. Whereas these transitions are indicating a new key idea is getting ready to be discussed. Okay, so then I just want to go over very quickly that it's important that we vary our transitions. We don't want to use the same ones over and over again. Also, burying a transition or embedding a transition is much more creative and much more effective if we can do that instead of always sticking them at the beginning of the sentence. So have your child try to do some burying of their transitions. Okay. And then I wanted to show you the transitions for different purposes. Now, a lot of curriculum, a lot of different homeschool curriculums will incorporate sections on transitions. So maybe find what your curriculum has and see how it compares to this. Probably it's going to be very similar, but it's nice to see that they can come in sets. And so depending on what your child is writing about, they might be able to pick like a row of transitions that would work well together. Okay, and then again, here's another page of transition sets. And then this would be a good thing to read through with your child. So using transitions, words, phrases, sets, different, transitioning by repeating a word, transitioning by repeating a phrase, by using pronouns and synonyms, and then read through the examples with your child. And maybe as you're doing it, kind of color code the transitions with yellow like that. Kind of pick them out as you're reading through. All right. Okay, on that note, the transition video is done. I would suggest that you put these pages in sleeves so that you have them, or your child has them in a binder to pull out really quickly when you're looking for transition ideas. These are things that you want to just hold on to year after year as reference, even if you don't continue homeschooling and your child ends up going back to public school or private school. And it's never bad to have these resources at home to support them, because they're always going to have homework. They're always going to have writing assignments. So keep these resources. This is some really good stuff that I'm sharing with you.